Hi children, in today's video again we are going to discuss an interesting topic called making of Britain. In the previous video we have discussed about making of Germany and Italy, right? In those both cases people started revolution and people were asking for the formation of a country, right? But here the case is somewhat different. The formation of Britain was not due to any revolution or it was not due to any sudden uprising of the people. It was a long drawn out process. Before 18th century, there was no country called Britain. Today we are calling Britain, right? Before 18th century, there was no country called Britain. In that place, different types of ethnic people were living, like English, Welsh, Scottish, and Irish people. And they had their own culture and own political tradition. They were not united, they were living with different territories and they followed their own culture and political tradition. But out of these four groups, the English people they started to grow steadily in wealth, importance, and power. That means out of the four groups, English became very powerful, very important, and very wealthier. Once they became wealthier and powerful, they started to control other nations. Clear? And they had a conflict with different monarchies and they finally seized power from monarchies. And now, after seizing the power from monarchy, Britain formed as a nation state. That means they started to bring many people under their control, so that was called as nation state. And during that time, Scottish people were like troublemakers for British. Always they asked for independence. They didn't like English ruling them. Clear. So, what English did is they made an act called Act of Union, which was between England and Scotland. England is nothing but English people. So, according to this act, as the name indicates, Act of Union. So, Scotland will be united with England, and Scotland must obey the England's rules. Clear? That was Act of Union 1707. And finally they brought all the people under their control, right? So they formed United Kingdom of Great Britain. Finally a nation was formed. And after that they framed parliament, rules, regulations, and all the members in the parliament were English members. As the British was growing and growing, they started to control the Scottish people mainly. Clear? They suppressed their culture and they were not allowing Scottish political institutions. All the setup of Scottish in political side was suppressed. And the Catholic people are the kind of people in Scotland. And that time Catholic people were fighting against British people asking for independence. So what will happen? Definitely they will be suppressed, right? Yes. So Catholic people were suppressed by the British whenever they asked for independence. And Scottish people they were not allowed to speak their Gaelic language and they were not allowed to wear their national dress. And not only that, many Scottish people were sent out of their native place. Clear? You just imagine India is divided into different states, right? So if suddenly any one of the state is growing in power, wealth and all, and they are controlling remaining states and not allowing us to speak our own language, not allowing us to wear our own traditional dress, how we will feel, right? So that was the situation for Scottish people that time. They were not allowed to follow their culture, they were not allowed to speak their own language, and they were not allowed to wear their traditional dress. Clear? So all this was happened because of English. And the same fate was happening to Ireland also. Ireland actually it was divided between two types of people, Catholics and Protestants. Catholics and Protestants they are the subdivisions of Christianity. And Catholics and Protestants they are having different ideas, so they are against each other, kind of. Clear? And Catholics they were continuously asking for independence, right? So they were enemies for English. So to completely suppress Catholics, the Protestants were helped by English. So Protestants and Catholics already they were against each other, and Catholics enemy was English, right? Now what happened? Catholics became the common enemy for Protestants and English. So English was supporting Protestants to completely dominate the Catholic country. Clear? and many Catholic revolts were there, but it was suppressed by the English people. And the example was Ulfton, and along with Irishmen, he was making a revolt, but it was suppressed by the English people. And finally, in 1801, Ireland was also brought under the control of United Kingdom of Great Britain. Now, what happened? All the places came under the control of Britain, so it was made as a country. Are you clear with the children? So this is what we have discussed. Finally, British was made as a nation and they had their own symbols. As we are having flag, national language and all, they were also having the same as they were made as a country. So they made Union Jack as their flag, and they made God Save Our Noble King as their national anthem, and they made English as their official language. And that time itself, many nations were existing, right? So what happened to them means they were like partners to English, but they will be obeying the English words. Are you clear? So, the formation of Britain was not easy and not due to any revolution. It was a very long process. And before 18th century, there was no nation called Britain. In that place, different types of inhabitants were there. Inhabitants means different people were living there. They were English, Welsh, Scottish, and Irish people. Out of these four groups, English became very wealthy and powerful. So they started to control other nations. They had fight with monarchies, and finally they seized power from monarchy and formed a nation state. And they are making an act of union 1707 between England and Scotland, according to which Scotland will be united with England and they need to obey England. Clear? And finally they formed the United Kingdom of Great Britain. Then they formed English Parliament where all the members were English people. And they are suppressing the Scottish culture. They are not allowing Scottish people to wear their traditional dress or to speak their Gaelic language. And Catholic people were asking for independence in Scotland, but they were terribly suppressed by the English. And the same fate was happening in Ireland also. Ireland was divided between Catholics and Protestants, and there was a fight between Catholics and Protestants, like who should rule the country, who should rule Ireland, either Protestants or Catholics. Like that, they were having a fight as they were having different ideas. And now English is joining hands with Protestants to dominate Catholic people. So there was a revolt by Ulfton in Scotland and United Irishmen, but it was a failure. And finally, they brought Ireland also under the control of Britain. So Britain was made as a perfect nation. So they made Union Jack as their flag, God Save Our Noble King as the national anthem, and English as their official language. Are you clear, children? So they will ask you this question in 5 mark, and these symbols might be asked in 3 mark questions. So be very clear with this and take notes on this page and this page. Now entering into part 5, visualizing the nation. This is also a very interesting topic. So visualizing the nation, how we are going to see the nation visually. We know country means nation, and it will be having borders, it will be having rivers, everything. But how we are going to see it visually? Let us check. So to represent any leader or ruler, we can easily take their picture or draw their portrait. So we can easily bring their visual portrait. But how to give a face to the nation? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. We know that India is represented as Bharat Mata, right? There is image for India. Wherever we are using the words country, we are using she, motherland, like that, right? So we are making the country to appear like a person. We are making India to be a mother. We are making India to be a human, right? So like that, we can give face to the nation. When it started means in 18th and 19th century, artists found a way to personify the nation. Personify means what? Representing a country like if it is a person. Clear? So in 18th and 19th century, artists found this way. Okay, we can represent a country as a person like that. So they started to personify the nation by using female figures. She, motherland, like that. They started to personify the nation with the help of female image. Clear. So the nations were portrayed as female figures, and they are choosing a female figure to represent the country, right? But that particular female is not representing any real life women. Simply imaginary female image they are choosing to represent the nation. So it is not representing any particular women in a real life. Okay. And why we want to give face to the nation, why we want to personify the nation? Because there is a reason. If simply we are saying nation or land and all, we won't have that much attachment with it, right? So to bring more attachment, they started to personify the nation. So abstract idea is just a theory, but concrete one means we are bringing that physically. Okay, so when we are giving female image to that, physically we are imagining as a person, right? So that is what the reason for making the personification. So why they gave female image as a country's presence means they want to make the abstract idea as a concrete one. Abstract idea means just a theory, not physically present. But concrete means what? It's present physically. We can see that, we can feel that, right? So that was the concrete one. For this idea only, they started to personify the nations. Are you clear with the both terms? Yes. Now, finally, female figures became an allegory of the nation. Allegory means nothing but a symbol or representation of a non-living thing with a physical form. So this is what allegory means. Okay, here allegory means we are converting the abstract idea into a person or thing, right? So that is, in a simple term, we are calling it as allegory. Clear? And during French Revolution, many terms were very famous, like liberty, justice, republic. These words were often used by the people that time, right? So to bring more attachment with these words among the people started to represent these things with some images. Okay, so liberty means what? Freedom, right? Justice means there should be a moral rule or moral judgment. So that is justice. And republic, it should have some head for the government, right? So these terms were represented with the help of images. They started to personify these words with the images, and they are using some objects to represent it, right? So those objects are called as attributes. Clear? So the main image is called as allegory, and the objects are called as attributes. So for personifying liberty, they were using red cap and broken chain as the attributes. Okay, liberty means freedom, right? So broken chain means what? If you are arrested, they will lock the chain. If the chain is broken, it means you are released. So liberty. So liberty attribute is broken chain. And for justice, blindfolded women carrying a pair of weighing scales. I think you will be familiar with that image, right? In India also, we are having that as an allegory. Okay. So justice is an abstract idea, just a theory thing. If you are learning only the word, you cannot understand what it actually means, right? So they are personifying justice with this image. This is personification. Justice is simply a word, but they are giving image to it. Okay, so this is allegory. And blindfolded, right? They are using a cloth, and balance is there with the help of weighing scales. So the law must be equal for all the people. For that indication, they are using these objects called attributes. Okay, so this image is allegory, and that cloth and weighing scales are called as attributes. Are you clear with that? So during French Revolution, they are just giving an image to the abstract idea called liberty, justice, and other terms by using allegory and attributes. So 19th century artists, they started to use allegory to represent the nation. Okay, during the French Revolution, they are using allegory for representing the abstract ideas, and here they are using personification for the nation. Let us see an example. Do you know what is the allegory of France? That is, what is the image of France? As we are having Bharat Mata for India, what image was given for France? It was Christian Marian. Okay, the allegory of France was Christian Marian. And the attributes are red cap, cockade, and tricolor. For every attribute, there will be a reason. Okay, red cap is standing for liberty, tricolor is standing for representing the entire nation. So, the allegory of France was Christian Marian, and the attributes were red cap, cockade, and tricolor. Clear? Now, coming to the allegory of Germany, it was Germania. Okay, the allegory of Germany was Germania. So this is the image of Germania. You can see several type of attributes present here, right? Flag is there, then knife is there, broken chain is there, rising sun is at the back, right? So what was the meaning for these things? Let us check. So the broken chain which is present at the bottom of the picture, as we discussed previously, it stands for freedom. Okay, broken chains means being freed. And the breastplate with eagle, it is representing strength of the German Empire. Whenever the soldiers are going for fighting, they will be wearing breastplate, right? So it is to protect them. So the breastplate with eagle here is representing strength of the German Empire. Then this crown of oak leaves, it is representing heroism. Then the sword, as we know, it is standing for readiness to fight. And the flag, which is having three colors, black, red, and gold, it is the flag used by the liberal nationalist in 1848, and it was banned by dukes. Clear? And then the rising sun is representing beginning of new era. Okay, so first we discussed no, the knife is representing readiness to fight, but here there is olive branch of leaves around the knife, right? You can see olive leaves around the knife. So what it symbolizes? Knife means readiness to fight. What if the knife is surrounded with olive branches? Just find the answer and comment it. The question for today is, if the knife is surrounded with olive branch, what it means? What is the meaning for this attribute? Find and comment it. So the fifth part is about visualizing the nation. In 18th and 19th century, artists they started to personify the nation by using female figures, and that is called as allegory of the nation. And it did not stand for any particular women in the real life, right? And during French Revolution, liberty, justice were represented by using some objects. So liberty was represented by red cap or broken chain, and justice was represented by blindfolded women carrying a pair of weighing scales. And two examples were discussed by us. One is for France, another one for Germany. Allegory of France was Christian Marian, and allegory of Germany was Germania. And we also discussed about various attributes for it, right? So this is an important 5-mark question, come 3-mark question. So know the difference between allegory and attributes in a clear way. So just replay the video to be thorough with both the concepts, and happy learning.